What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be doing a book review on the original Thrawn Trilogy by Timothy Zahn. Um, yeah, before we get into that, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Alright, let's start with some background of the books. These are really old books. They're from 1991, 1992, and 1993, respectively. And they kind of, there was no Star Wars published for like 8 years before they came out. So they kind of defibrillated that corpse and brought it back to life. And now there's a billion novels, and I'm gonna read them all. And these books are written by Timothy Zahn, and he has 13 other Star Wars books, which I'll probably read 10 of them definitely. Alright, background in the universe. These books, they take place in 9 ABY, and that is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And they follow the New Republic as it's trying to like get its feet under itself. And there's a new, well, not new, an Imperial Grand Admiral who comes out of the unknown regions and kind of takes hold of the Empire, what remains of it, and he's kind of mounting his own campaign that could topple the fledgling government. And these books, they introduce a lot of new characters, such as the titular Thrawn, Mara Jade, Thrawn's captain beneath him, Pelion, the mad Jedi Master Joruus C'baoth, and the smuggler Talon Card, who Mara Jade is his assistant, but Mara Jade was also previously the Empire's super secret spy. Yeah. Alright, first book, first one in the trilogy, The Heir to the Empire. It introduces all the new characters and all the new ideas and wacky Star Wars things that are really mainstays throughout the trilogy, such as Mount Tantus, the Emperor's secret bunker, cloning facility, throne room. You got all the stuff in there. The Ysalamiri, which are lizards that have a little anti-force bubble around them that prevent the force from affecting things. And force influence, the mad Jedi Master C'baoth. He is digging in people's minds and making them, reading their thoughts, making them do whatever he pleases, not freaky style. And I enjoyed every part of the book. I thought the Leia being on Kashyyyk was a little slow and uninteresting for my taste, but I feel like that's just because the rest of the book was so captivating that it fell behind by comparison. I also thought that stuff with Borsk Phalia trying to usurp the Admiral Akbar's military command was super interesting, and the book does a really good job of making you want to punt him in the face. And yeah, really good book, and it left me looking forward to how all the stuff it set up would pay off, such as in book number 2, Dark Force Rising. The second book, it focuses on the Dark Force fleet, which is 200 like Star Destroyer type cruisers that are just abandoned in the middle of space, and no one has found them except for 2 people. And the New Republic has one on their side, and the Empire pays the other guy for their information. And man, does a great job in building on the ideas of the first book. Um, where the Leia and Chewbacca stuff in the first book, I was not a fan. In this book, it was my favorite part. I really like the Nogri, and yeah, they're epic. I like how they don't realize the Empire is taking advantage of them until Leia tells them that. Yeah. Also, I liked seeing Luke and Mara work together to infiltrate a Star Destroyer. Mara's whole thing through this trilogy is that she was the Emperor's hand, so the Emperor is like imprinted on her mind. And so throughout all three books, she's getting this message from him from beyond the grave, and it's in all caps every single time: kill Luke Skywalker. And I'll come back later. This book has a very dire ending, in which the Empire beats the New Republic to the Dark Force fleet, and so yeah, the New Republic is kind of out strategized by Thrawn and then outnumbered by him after this book. I wonder how they will recover. And we find out in The Last Command, the third book of the trilogy. All the random bits that are kind of like sprinkled throughout the last two books get tied together really well, and I think it's very beautiful and so artistically done, such as Mara's whole arc, kill Luke Skywalker, and the cloning cylinders in Mount Tantus. Pretty much Sabaoth clones Luke using the hand that gets cut off in Empire Strikes Back, and so there's a clone of Luke Skywalker, and he's actually on the cover. Just realized that. Yeah, and Mara kills that clone of Luke Skywalker, which kind of completes her whole arc throughout the books, is killing Luke. And I've blown through this book in the past like 3 days. I read the majority of it, finished it 2 hours ago, and the ending feels a little bit rushed. It's like the last 15 pages where they finally beat Sabaoth and Thrawn, and I'd say the Sabaoth stuff isn't too bad, but they just make him so uber powerful, it's a little unbelievable. But I'd say the way Thrawn is done is very abrupt and artistic, because that is how his life ends. His whole thing is he studies art and develops strategies based on that. I think that's really cool. That's why he's my favorite Star Wars character. But they did him a little dirty. He's reading the report from Mount Tantus where the rebels defeat Sabaoth, and he gets to a line about there being Nogri there, and so his personal assistant Nogri, right as he reads that, he slices the throat of Pelion and Thrawn, killing Thrawn. Pelion is unknown, but I would assume so. And yeah, that's where the little line, because those are Thrawn's last words. It was so abrupt and so artistically done. Yeah, man, crazy stuff. And the Empire has a spy in the New Republic capital on Coruscant, and it's called Delta Source, but it is really trees that react to stimulation and change their color chemically. When the Coruscant was under Imperial control before the rebels took it back, the Empire put in technology that can convert the chemical signals from the tree from like the sound, and they could convert that into actual words, and then they would transmit that to the Empire. So that is how Thrawn has also been a step ahead through all these books. And this book is really just the Mara Jade show. It's all about, I mean, not all about her, but she's by far the most interesting character in this book. Yeah, and I can't wait to get more of her and Luke in the Hand of Thrawn duology, which I placed that order about an hour ago. 4 to 10 business days, I will get that book, those two books, and I will probably finish them in 4 to 10 business days. Alrighty, my personal ranking within these books, I have no clue where I would rank them in the greater Star Wars universe. Least favorite book, Last Command. Nothing against the book. It's like a 9 out of 10. I just like the other two more. Speaking of the other two, Heir to the Empire. I've given my thoughts. Yeah. And then Dark Force Rising was my personal favorite. Um, I think another really cool part about these books, this, I think a really interesting part about these books is that they mirror the original trilogy very closely. Like Heir to the Empire, um, it could be a standalone story. It doesn't need to have sequels, and I feel like that mirrors A New Hope because that was just kind of created, and success or not, it was out there. And then Empire Strikes Back comes, and it's a whole movie about the rebellion getting battered by the Empire, and that's kind of what Dark Force Rising is. Both leaving on cliffhangers of we just got beat back. How will we recover? And then The Last Command is a little bit less subtle. It literally ends in a Palpatine throne room with a crazy old man spewing lightning from his fingertips. And yeah, a little less subtle, but I just think that's cool. I really like Star Wars. But yeah, uh, this is the first time I've ever interacted with Legends content, and I have a lot on the docket when it comes to that. I'm planning to read. Well, I've read Thrawn Trilogy, Hand of Thrawn, Survivor Quest, Outbound Flight. Then I'll probably bounce back to Canon Thrawn Trilogy, and then um, I'm really interested in coming back to Legends from those Canon Thrawn books. And there's a Jedi Academy trilogy about Luke starting his Jedi Order that takes place between Thrawn Trilogy and then the Hand of Thrawn duology. So I'll probably dip my finger in that one. And then I plan to, because I think Hand of Thrawn duology is the lead up to the new Jedi Order book series, which is 19 novels that are about aliens invading the Star Wars galaxy. And I'm really interested in that. And that's about it. It's getting late, past my bedtime. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. Yeah, okay, bye.